check it out. Cool lights. Don't know why I'm doing it, but it looks nice. Anyway, time for a little question and answer with some questions from the audience, aka Twitter. Just sent out a general round, anything you want to know. So I've tallied them all up here. Let's take a look what we got. From Scott here. Scott, good guy. What's your holy grail diecast? I say that I own, that I want to buy, or that I want to make. Let's go all three. Okay, that I want to make. This Corey LaJoie car, ARCA car he won at a Pocono a while back. I can't make it for a couple of different kind of just logistical reasons. It has always kind of annoyed me because I know there's other people out there that really want this too. And I was at that race and it looks cool, but it just, the body style, the decals, the sponsors, I can't make it work. It's disappointing. That I want to buy promos. I love rare promo cars. The only problem is they're really expensive because they're rare. So any of the like underfunded, lower series, 1/64th scale promo cars. I know there's Takuma Koga out there for his ARCA car right now, a couple of those, but he mostly released those in Japan, so they're really expensive. Grayson Raz had a K&N West car. Austin Terrio had a Cup car made of his 52 when he was with Rick Ware for a couple of races. Really want that. I haven't seen him come up. I've seen pictures of him. I know you got him when you like made an account at his bank or something. That's the only way I've seen him really getting one. That I own. This one. That I made. Explain a little bit of that later. Next question here from Olivia. When is the next Downhill Diecast Nationals? And how many Dykesat do you have? Oh, typo! Typo! Downhill Diecast Nationals. I've actually got one shot. I shot it like 9 or 10 months ago. I just haven't really gotten the time or the willpower to edit it together because no one watches them anymore. No one, I'm not trying to have a pity party here, but the last couple I've made, no one watches. It's a ton of work. It's kind of disappointing. Soon, I guess, because some of it's going to be kind of outdated soon, so I got to get that done. Eric's doing his thing that took a lot of my ideas and attention. Anyway, how many diecasts do I have? I'm going to say around 370. Last count. I know this was a picture I took a while back, earlier in the year. I've got a couple more before then, or after then, and my 1/24th scale aren't in this picture, so I think it's right around 370, maybe a little higher, a little lower. Question from Shazane, SR2448. I don't know how to pronounce your name, I apologize. How did you get started building customs, and when did you decide to make it a business? Whenever this started, a little over 10 years ago, I was really sick, just extremely sick for a long period of time, and I needed things to do. And I'd always been a race fan. I had some cars when I was a kid, older ones than this. I just like needed things to do to occupy my mind, and getting really, really into racing was a good way to do that, just to have things to watch on TV. So it turned into just like watching every practice, qualifying session, race of all the series that I could, all the stock car series, IndyCar even. And it was kind of at a rebuilding period for the diecast industry. It had broken apart, came back together. They weren't making all that many cars. And there were a lot more underfunded teams out there at that time too. They weren't making any of those. So as I started collecting again, I started thinking, man, I like some of these. I like some of these paint schemes, but they don't exist. And I looked on eBay, and yeah, people actually made custom ones. So I started buying those. Expensive. Didn't always have the ones I wanted because it was just a couple of people building them. So I thought, maybe I can make my own. So I did. And decided to make it a business when I realized it was silly just to make them one at a time for myself. I thought, all right, I'll make one for me, one for eBay, one for me, one for eBay. And just kind of took off from there when I realized, I mean, it wasn't really about the money because I don't really make a lot of money doing this. But it's just cool to share, to be able to provide fans, drivers, and their sponsors with things they wouldn't otherwise be able to get. Question from Devin. Favorite custom you've made, and which custom do you wish had been officially produced? Favorite custom I've made? I don't know if I have one for that. I don't think I've kept them, because most of the really cool ones aren't 1/64th scale. They're like bigger ones that I can put more time into. Someone's got a question that's going to involve that later. I'll get into it then. Which custom do you wish had been officially produced? Chase Briscoe's 77 ARCA car, at least one of the variations of it, because I've built so many of those. And it's not that I don't like him or like that car, it's just, at some point I'm tired of doing it. I've made so many, it's like, gosh, I wish they would have made it, and I could stop doing them. But they didn't. It's a shame. Alright, question from Michelle. Favorite promo diecast that you own? This one. Can I reach in here? Yes. Ben Rhodes, K&N East car. I love K&N and ARCA cars. Didn't make that many. There's a couple of promos out there. This one, Greg Alding's Krispy Kreme car, which is about on equal footing with this. Really cool. Love having it. Love getting some from that series. I wish there were more, and I wish there were more in my collection. Alright, question from J. Adrian. I don't know how to pronounce that. A bunch of questions here. Any full build guides coming? No, I guess not. I mean, I started to make one. I shot a whole bunch of it, but it can just keep going on and on and on and on pretty much forever with all the little things that go into it. So I guess I would rather just take the easy way out and have people ask me whenever they have questions, if they want to see demonstrations of anything in particular. I can do that for them, but a full build guide would just be massive, and I just don't have the time and energy to get into that. Biggest diecast order you've ever got? I don't want to name who, a driver's father, right when I was getting started, a couple of times would just send me a check in the mail and say, make however many this covers. So I was like, dang, that's going to be a lot, because he sent me a lot of money. I don't want to pull one over on him. So it was 1/64th scale ARCA cars, did a lot of those, and not that they aren't valuable to him or to me, and they were cool to make, but gosh, the cars I used to make those, pretty much all the Chase Elliott ones, those are so expensive now. So if only I would have known, I would have been sitting on a gold mine. But no, it was still cool. It doesn't really matter. Most difficult to make? Anything that really requires switching up a lot of different kinds of decals between white-backed, clear-backed, white ink, and having multiple paint tones that I have to physically do on a car, along with wrapping, things like that. There's a handful of cars that I've had to make where I've said afterwards, like, alright, I'm just not doing this again. It's going on the list. I'm sorry. It was too much work. It's not necessarily on that list, because I like them. Brad Perez's ARCA car was a good example of that. This one here, there's a lot going on in this car. You probably don't understand, unless you've tried to make one of these, just how much is going on here all over it. But these are tough things to make. Favorite track to watch versus least fun to drive in iRacing? Track to watch, I'm assuming you mean in real life. Pocono? Maybe. I guess you got to be there. I haven't really been to very many where it's kind of dead around here as far as pavement tracks go. Least fun to drive in iRacing. I stink at what I'm going to call the small intermediates, like Iowa and Richmond. I'm just not good at them. I just don't get it. Okay, question from Jackson Gleason. I've raced with him before. He's a good guy. What's your biggest iRacing pet peeve? Not finishing where I think I deserve to finish, which is tough because I'm just not that good at the game simulation, in general. Great at super speedways, like everyone thinks they are. But yeah, anytime you have a good race going, you get wrecked out at the end, or there's a wreck and like you're the only guy with heavy damage and you're limping around and you're the last car running, or you get some dumb black flag at the end. I just hate it. Hate it. And I know if you've ever raced with me before, you know it, because I probably don't shut up on the microphone about it once it happens to me, because I got a serious problem with just not shutting up on the mic. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Also, why do you primarily make ARCA customs? That goes back to what I said earlier about things not being produced. When I got into watching the ARCA series, they weren't making anything. I mean, maybe one car a year was getting produced out of that series, and usually it was just like, you know, if like Ty Dillon was barnstorming through on his way to the top or something, maybe you'd get his. So it was kind of like, alright, here's a whole market of cars that I want to have and cars that I think are cool. Like originally it wasn't even ARCA, it was this car. that I wanted to have and I couldn't find online in a smaller scale. So this was my first, big project that I ever wanted to do. Eventually I made the bigger one for myself. But yeah, I was looking around like, yeah, you can make ARCA diecast, so why isn't anyone doing it? I don't know. I still don't really know. But I guess it just kind of turned into my thing, where no one else is doing it. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. Kind of getting in with the teams, the drivers, the sponsors that way. It's not my intent to really do that, but it's just cool to kind of be that guy in the community. I mean, I have a lot of respect for the series. Love going to watch them at Pocono, New Jersey when they race there. So yeah, it's just a cool deal to always look at the cars and like immediately think, all right, can I do that one? Can I do that one? Can I do that one? I know there's a couple other people after certain big races or after the championship are like, all right, I need the championship car. Oh, I need the Daytona car. Oh, I need, here's my new driver. Here's my new sponsor. Can you do this one? So it's just kind of a cool little hole to plug in. They are, not in the last year or two, they were making a couple more. Venturini had a couple made. Like I said, Takuma Koga has his promos made. Female drivers especially. So yeah, it still happens. And it's always a little more of a difficult task to do because you've got to switch the tires out and they're different styles of bodies. It's probably going to get a lot uglier for me once they update the Toyota and the Chevy that they're on. It's just fun. It's a lot of fun. That's what it's all about.